Hey friends, and welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Morgan, and today we are out in the garden again getting it prepped before planting season. So I wanted to give you a quick update from last video where we laid down all of this weed cloth. As I'm sure you can see behind me, I have some boards, shovels, I've got a tire back there. And a couple of days after we laid down the cloth, we had a 70-mile-per-hour wind storm, I guess, where it was 70-mile-per-hour winds for the entire day, and it was wild. So the weed cloth overall did a really good job. This side right behind me held up really well with the boards around it. The only issues we had was with the middle. Some of those started coming up and it actually ripped out the 12-inch posts that we had drilled in. Now the wood with the posts that we had drilled in, that was all fine. It was just the posts that were directly in the ground. So today what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through and windproof this thing even more. I'm determined to make weed cloth work in crazy winds, and so I'm gonna bring you along and show you kind of what we're doing to even further windproof this garden, and hopefully it will work. I'll be sure to bring you through this entire gardening season so you can see what's working and what's not. So hopefully you can learn from everything that I'm doing, whether it's working or not. I think we can all learn a lot from that. So without further ado, let's get started getting this thing even more windproofed. So all we're doing with this is we're just taking some more of these 12-inch posts and we're wrapping baling twine around it and then drilling it into the closest side to the barn, and then we're doing another one, stretching it as tight as possible, and we're putting it like 3 inches past where the weed fabric starts so that it can help hold it down. And then we're just stretching that super tight so that when the pins are in the ground, it's holding the weed fabric down, and we're hoping that that'll help with the wind a little bit.
All right, so while we're out here gardening, we like to let the goats out. As you can see, these are a couple of the babies here. One's there, one's sitting right up in there. And we just let them out for two reasons. One, they're great little long trimmers. And the other thing that they're really great for is keeping all the weeds down. They actually prefer to eat weeds and other stuff. And finally, it's just good to acclimate them to just being around us and feeding, because when you're in the backcountry and you're hunting, these little guys are just gonna free range and walk around with you. They even hunt right next to us. So anytime you can get with them and remind them that you're all buddies, the better. And great for keeping them used to being around dogs. What's up, Django? What are you doing? See the goats, even though they're not on leashes or anything, they always prefer to be as close as they possibly can to us. So they've just been following right along the edge of the fence this whole time as we've been laying all this down. Obviously our dog's a little bit codependent too, and apparently thinks he's a cow because he's grazing on grass.
And just like that, we have them all lined up. Everything running horizontally is what we just put in. We didn't want to put posts too close to the water, just not knowing where the lines are. So all we did there was just tie the posts to the water. And then we just ran them out going that way and then tied those down with pins. We are using boards along the outside just to triple ensure that hopefully we're good. All right, so just a quick garden update. Here is our giant chive. This chive actually came from my grandma's house. So it has been around the family for quite a long time. We transported it up here to Wyoming last summer actually, and we put it in like the heat of the summer, and it is absolutely thriving. So we're super excited for that. And then over here we have started a small little orchard. So we have an apple tree. We've got a Honeycrisp, a Fiji apple, and then right here should be a dwarf. We'll see how dwarf it is, but a dwarf cherry tree. Should be sweet cherries, so I'm super excited for that. We just put this cherry tree in the ground about 3 weeks ago, so it's still brand new, but this is just kind of a fenced off area to help keep everything out of the orchard area. And then an update on the raspberries. These are the raspberries that were just here when we moved in. We didn't plant them at all. We actually dug them up thinking they were weeds and then realized they were raspberries. So left some and put some back in the ground. These are all doing amazing as well, and we don't do anything with these. They just keep popping up every year, and we water them every now and again, and that's about it. So super excited for the raspberries. And then finally, we have a tiny little rhubarb here. This rhubarb I put in last year, and I let the chickens free range in here over the winter to help get some of the plants out, and I thought they ate it all, but turns out he survived, and we are hopefully going to have some yummy rhubarb here soon. All right, friends, and that is it for the day. We're going to let the wind test this out before we plant anything, and then hopefully in the next video we will get things planted. Thank you so much for joining. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and thank you for coming to hang out with me today. Hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.